Give your sound system a treat. Join me, wind down low and skank the night away. One love. That's Wednesdays, 9 through to 11 p.m, live on Seclo Sounds.
It's a top selector.
You can make comments about the show at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
You can contact me at john.gwynn@seclosounds.org. Travel news this week includes a story of a cruise line that came up with a new policy, and just as soon as it arrived it disappeared again. Find out who it was and what the policy was and why they changed it later on. Karen Blanchard is my guest this week. She's talking about Tenerife, and we're now moving on to a very important topic, and that's the wine that comes from the island.
Tenerife wine has actually come on in leaps and bounds over the past 10 years, and it's now winning a lot of international awards. Unknown to many, Tenerife has a wine tradition which dates back to the 15th century. And the wines are very special thanks to the volcanic terrain, the climate, and the varieties of grapes. Tenerife has grapevines which survived when they were wiped out in the rest of Europe due to disease. So we have what we call very old grapevines, which produce very special wines. There are 5 different areas in Tenerife, which all have different climates and altitudes. So you can get fresh rosés, you can get rich reds, and then you can get sort of crisp, fruity whites, as well as the Malmsey base wines. And Shakespeare was a fan of Malmsey. It's called Malvasía in Spanish, and he quoted that in several of his plays. Yes, to answer your question, you can visit a number of wineries on the islands and do wine tours. One of the recommended tours, one of our tourist board members, is Bodegas Monge, which is in El Sausal in the north. There's been a wine cellar there basically since the 1700s. So I definitely recommend that. And you can also visit the Wine Museum, which is also in El Sausal. That's in a restored farmhouse, a traditional building from the 17th century. They have a restaurant there, and they have a beautiful terrace which you can look out over the valley and see the volcano from.
You just brought up food. Is there a traditional Tenerife meal?
I think the most famous Tenerife meal would be fresh fish with wrinkly potatoes. They're called papas arrugadas, and they're normally served with mojo, which is the most famous Canarian sauce. It's either red or green, and it's made with garlic, cumin, salt, olive oil, and vinegar. And the local people eat this food. It's not just something for the tourists, and they're very, very proud of it too.
What's the other food like? Is there many high-end eating experiences for those who want more than just chips when they come from the UK?
Oh, definitely. That's one of the things Tenerife is very, very proud of. There's over 2,000 restaurants on the island, and you can have a Michelin star experience. For example, at Abama Golf and Spa Resort, there are 2 restaurants run by award-winning chefs, the Kabuki and the MB. Or you can go to restaurants around the island that have fantastic food at reasonable prices. The cuisine nowadays is really kind of fusion, where you get Canarian ingredients, but served in a very kind of high-end gourmet style with beautiful presentation, but using local fresh ingredients. And I think it's one of the things that Tenerife stands out for, this blend of traditional cooking and innovative culinary creations, because the island has lots and lots of fresh produce thanks to the fertile volcanic soil. And there's a lot of influence in Canarian cooking from South America, Cuba, which makes it very, very different from mainland Spain.
What's the current in place to eat in Tenerife at the moment?
Oh, there's lots of in places. I think the best thing would be for your listeners to check out our website. That's webtenerife.co.uk, and obviously depending in which area you are, because there really are so many good restaurants. I wouldn't be doing them justice just to sort of pick out one, you know.
Okay, that's a very politically correct answer sometimes. Does that mean you're not able to say where your favourite place to eat is?
Well, it just depends really where you want to go, because as I said before, Tenerife offers something for everybody, you know, family-run restaurants or very exclusive Michelin-starred restaurants. Or, you know, if you want a very down-to-earth experience, you can go to a local family-run eatery, which could even be set up in a garage, you know, serving their own homegrown wine. So it's difficult to say. I love eating fresh fish next to the sea, outdoors, you know. There's nothing better than sitting next to the Atlantic in the middle of February and, you know, drinking a glass of local wine and eating some local fresh fish. And you can really do that all year round. You can do it in the north of the island on the coast, and you can do it in the south. So I think Tenerife really has something for everybody. If you want a kind of city break, you know, you can sit in a kind of stylish, arty type restaurant and have you know, a culinary experience, or you can go to a very down to earth local family run restaurant.
Okay, so it depends what you're looking for.
But well, definitely not chips.
Not chips, no. No, definitely not chips. Although if my wife hears me say that, she won't believe I said it.
I think what it is that I really recommend that people hire a car and head out of the resort. And even if you just stop at a local bar, because eating out is the favourite pastime of the local islanders, you're always going to find good quality stuff, even if it's just a tapa, you know, in a bar. And because the Canary Islanders are so proud of their local cuisine, you know, they will kind of give you tips and help you, you know, what to taste.
Yeah, I remember reading a review on TripAdvisor about a hotel in Turkey saying there's not enough traditional food, but he meant sausage and egg as traditional food. I just personally don't see. I'm a vegan, so I'm a really fussy eater and difficult to.
Right.
But I don't understand why people would go somewhere and eat what they could eat at home, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You should try the local stuff.
I think maybe it's the fear of the language, isn't it? It's the fear of looking stupid. So people tend to stick with what they know. But I think, you know, it's really well worth being a little bit adventurous, you know.
Yeah. It really is. Even as a vegan, I can be adventurous sometimes. So.
Yeah, okay.
You can contact us or just keep up to date with travel news at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
This is Seclo Sounds, your community radio station. If you'd like to volunteer some of your time and skills with Seclo Sounds, send an email to volunteers@seclosounds.org and let us know how you would like to be involved. MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
To listen to this show again or to find out the other shows we have on the station, please visit www.seclosounds.org. Later in the show, my guest Karen Blanchard from the Tenerife Tourism Corporation will run through some excursions you should do when you go and visit the island. But for now, we're talking about the wildlife you can see on and around Tenerife. Wildlife Is there any wildlife on and around Tenerife, and how easy is it to spot?
Yes, there is wildlife, yes. We actually have all year round whale watching, and you can see pilot whales and dolphins off the south coast of Tenerife. There's a strait just off the coast of Tenerife, so about a 40-minute sail, and there's lots of boats that offer tours every day of the year, and you're guaranteed seeing short-fin pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins, and they come very, very close to the boat. Normally they swim underneath or alongside. So that's a fabulous experience for everybody. We also have lots of bird species. You can see about 200 different species of birds which actually pass by Tenerife on their migration from Africa. And one of the local protected species is a falcon, and you tend to see them really all over the island. At night, you might be lucky enough to spot an owl. Mm-hmm. And there's also a special type of seabird. It's called the pardela. It's a seagull, and it only flies at night, curiously enough.
Never heard of a seagull that only flies at night.
Yeah, and it makes a funny noise.
I would too. If I was up there at night time, I'd make a funny noise too.
Yeah, if you had a bit too much Tenerife wine.
Sticking with wildlife, what's the nightlife like for those who like clubbing?
Oh, right.
Is it full on?
Well, yeah, the nightlife in Tenerife is very, very varied. There's something for everybody. Nightlife, 7 days a week, 12 months of the year, because we're an all-year-round resort. Obviously, depending on your taste, depending on your what you're looking for. The south of Tenerife, obviously, you've got the clubbing scene there. You've got outdoor discos. You've got chill-out bars. You've basically got something for all age groups. Mm-hmm. In the north, you tend to get maybe a more older crowd who are looking for something a bit more sedate. So you've also got, chill-out sunset bars, places dotted along the coast. I think that really Tenerife nightlife is amazing. We have live music bars as well. There's lots of acts, imitation, anything from Robbie Williams to Elvis. We've got jazz club. If you wanted to go where the locals go, then best bet is to head up to Santa Cruz, the capital, or La Laguna, the university town, where there's lots of bars. The nightlife basically goes on into the early hours.
What would you recommend for somebody in his very late, very, very, very late 30s who complains that the music's too loud? Where would I go?
Well, we've got an amazing place called Papagayo, it's a beach club. It's actually a restaurant. It's open all day and all night. So you can go there for breakfast, sit next to the ocean, read a newspaper, listening to chill-out music. You can have lunch or dinner there. And then if you wanted to party and dance, it turns into a disco and goes on until the early hours. So you've got that. We've got bars dotted along the coast where if you just wanted to listen to the sound of the ocean, you've got it. I think, as I said before, there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Into the spotlight with me, Lucy, every Wednesday between 6 and 7 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. I'll have new music, the latest entertainment news, and interviews with local bands. If you're in a band, or if you have music that you think I should be playing, I'd love to hear from you. Email me, lucy@seclosounds.org, and join me every Wednesday from 6 till 7 for Spotlight on Seclo Sounds.
You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org.